Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be presenting about Texas. Texas has been known for its cities, country, obviously, food, tradition, and everything. When we talk about Texas, when someone mentions Texas, what does it pops up? For me, it was cowboys, farmers, country, and obviously Houston is like the big city, also Austin. But in reality, Texas uh, was its own country almost a decade. Also, it's known for its oil industry and its land. Basically, Texas is like the second largest state of United States. Its history, it's really important. Texas, as we all know, or you may not have known, Texas was its own country for about a decade due to Mexico winning the independence from Spain and Mexico wanting to bring in different, or allow different people to come in from religion or like race. They didn't care. They just wanted to bring more people to gain their population and start developing their economy and everything. But Texas had a different plan. Texas did not like that. Texas wanted to actually keep slaves. It was during the decades of slaves and everything. They wanted to keep slaves. They didn't want it. People from like immigrants or migrants wanted to come into their state or, as we all know, like their land and to invade and to have a different variety of people and everything. Texas wanted to be more like Southern Confederate. As we all know, or have you ever heard about Sam Houston? I'm not talking about the city Houston. I'm talking about the person Sam Houston. Sam Houston was basically um, governor and everything in general. He came into Texas when Texas was actually fighting against Mexico and Alamo, but unfortunately, they lost against it. They lost the war, the little fight they had on Alamo. So what they did is that Sam Houston arrived. He then got converted into a general armor, well, a general in the army, and he then went to fight against. Well, he retreated his slaves. I mean slaves. His people, his army, his soldiers. He retreated them back and had a different technique. While San Jacinto had another technique and everything, but unfortunately failed. Um, Sam Houston actually took the one based due to his idea of retreating his army, spreading them out, and going back into the war and everything. They gained their independence and so on. Now, Texas oil industry plays a main part in the United States after they won their independence. Um, they were their own country for about a decade. It was like nine something, or sorry about that, but almost about a decade. When they wanted to gain, well, wanted to join with the United States, but they had to request it, and it took several times for them to be accepted into the United States, be accepted as a state, and once they got accepted, obviously, the United States saw the potential they had and everything as oil industry. I don't know if you heard of Spindletop. Spindletop was basically is basically a little small city. Excuse me, a little small city, which in the 1900s or 1901, uh, out of nowhere it started to gush out a lot of petroleum, which basically it was like almost like water coming out of the out of the land when they discovered it was petroleum. people thought they were gonna find like diamonds or gold or all of those things from back in the days, but unfortunately they actually found something better, which was the oil petroleum. Texas has been known for their oil industry. They hold 43% for the United States, and they make about 6.6 um, barrels a year, a billion, 6.6 billion barrels a year, which gains a lot of economy for the United States, and also um, holding the record and still doing it. So to this day, they have around like 30 companies, petroleum here in Texas. So it's pretty good for the economy as well for Texas. Now for the open land, uh, we all know obviously it's the second largest state, and many people they say that different types of cities in Texas reminds them of different types of states they have gone, like Chicago, Michigan, Florida. Um, Obviously me, because I'm from Florida. When I went to Corpus, actually like it gave me that little vibe of Florida, of Sarasota, due to its docks, decks, and everything, having their boats there, and having some pretty good views. Now, NASA got their eye on Texas based in 1961 due to its open land, having so many options to do and everything. So they still have their eye on Texas. Elon Musk, I don't know if you heard of him. He's basically known for Tesla and for the spacecraft. He moved into Texas, moved his company into Texas about Tesla. He's gained pretty good pretty good like production and also like sales and everything. So it has given him a lot of profit from it. Uh, Also, did you know that Texas is recognized for its highways? Has like Until this day, Texas has been holding like the top nation, I believe. I'm not too sure. Top nation about their highways. That they have so many highways they could like basically cross, like use the whole highways in order to get from here to like I don't know, like some other nation and everything. But Texas is like the top one that has so many highways. Well, as we got to the bottom of the presentation, as we all know now, as you guys are informed, Texas, well, it's basically known for its cities, its country, its cowboys, farmers, land, history. But now that you know what's behind the history, what's behind the land, what's behind the industrial oil, Texas was once its own nation, its own country. So next time a person asks you, what does Texas remind you of, or what are your thoughts about Texas? Now you got a good point of view of what you could say. Texas is known for its own country. They might be like surprised, like what do you mean? But now you're able to tell them what you actually mean and what you have learned from this presentation. Well, these are my references, and that's basically it. Have a good day, guys.